The sound is audible, PPT is visible. Is it okay? Should I continue with my discussion? Okay. So in our last lecture, we were discussing about the continuous sterilization. Previously, we have already gone through the details of the batch sterilization. Okay. Now, just one addition is there, that there are two types of continuous sterilizer that may be used for the treatment of fermentation media. We are discussing the sterilization of fermentation media. Now that sterilization can be carried out either by batch sterilization process or the continuous sterilization. Now that continuous sterilization of the fermentation media can be carried out by two different types, the indirect heat exchanger and the direct heat exchanger. Okay. Now in case of direct heat exchanger, it is the actual steam injector. We have discussed this, but likewise, the typical headings I have not mentioned that are actually included in your book, that is the Whitaker. So now what is this steam injector? That means where we inject directly the steam into the fermentation media, and with the help of that injection of the steam, we carry out the sterilization of the fermentation media, that is the continuous sterilization. Okay. Now, the indirect heat exchangers, these are the most suitable of this type is the double spiral type. And another example is the indirect plate heat exchanger. So overall, whenever we consider the heat exchanger for continuous sterilization of the fermentation media, commercially there are two different heat exchangers are available that are mentioned in your book. That is the double spiral type, and the another is the indirect plate heat exchanger. So these are the two different types of heat exchanger that I have thought that I should mention it because I have not mentioned it in the previous lecture. So overall, in detail, there are the advantages and disadvantages of both of these heat exchanger, but there is no need to go in the details or the depth of these heat exchangers. Okay. That is the little bit correction or addition in our previous discussion. Now this is the diagram from again the Whitaker book, that there is the schematic presentation or the flow diagram of typical continuous injector flash cooler sterilizer. Okay, so it is the diagram which represents about the injector flash cooler sterilizer. That means there are the heat exchangers are added, or the indirect heat exchanger, that is by injecting the steam. So here it is the expansion chamber, that is the holding coil, and the flow is likewise. And this is the sterile medium out. So these are the preheat heat exchanger, and this is the cooling heat exchanger. In our last discussion, we have seen that the fermentation media, that is non-sterile fermentation media, is initially passed through the heat exchanger for preheating. So instead of directly increasing the temperature up to 140 degrees Celsius or higher temperature, there is the preheating, then it is passed in the another heat exchanger where actually the steam is circulated and the temperature is increased up to 140 degrees Celsius, and later on it is passed in the third heat exchanger, which around which actually the cold water is circulating, so the cooling is carried out of the fermentation media. Now this overall, the process or the continuous sterilization by this heat exchanger, the major advantage is that whatever the condensate that is added, it will no further increase the volume of that fermentation media. So that diagram, I thought that this diagram is quite easy for your, if a question is asked on the continuous sterilization, you require to draw a particular diagram. That's why I have added this diagram. One more diagram is there that I would like to add. I have added this diagram because these are from your book, so that it will be more easy for you people. Here, it is a flow diagram of a typical continuous sterilization system employing the spiral heat exchanger. So just now I have mentioned that there are two heat exchanger, one that is the indirect plate heat exchanger and the spiral heat exchanger. So more preferably the spiral heat exchangers are used for the continuous sterilization of the fermentation media. And this is the flow diagram of continuous or the typical continuous sterilization system using the spiral heat exchanger. So here this is the balance tank, or this is the actually fermentation tank or the media vessel. and these are the different spiral heat exchangers are there. So if you go through this particular diagram, you can understand what we have discussed in our last lecture. So this is the appropriate schematic presentation for that. Okay. So I think that now your concepts regarding the continuous sterilization or continuous heat sterilization are quite clear. The further contents, that is the disadvantages and the advantages of continuous sterilization. That is mainly the advantages of continuous sterilization. It over the batch sterilization, it includes the superior maintenance of the media quality. Why? Because here no more addition of condensate is there. The temperature holding time is very comparatively negligible or very less. So the media quality is not affected because no caramelization of the sugar, no change in the color of the media, no heat, what we can say, no denaturation of heat level compound that are present in the media. So overall, the media quality is maintained appropriately. Then depending on our requirement, either for the laboratory scale or for the industrial scale, here we can carry out the scale up very easily. Then it is easily automatically automated. Then the reduction of surge capacity. Yes, we were discussing about this. Today you are going to answer about this surge capacity. The reduction of sterilization cycle time. Then under certain circumstances, reduction of fermenter corrosion. Okay, so these are the major advantages of this continuous sterilization. We have discussed it in detail. So just now I have taken the recap of this. Now, another approach of this sterilization of fermentation media. No doubt, heat sterilization is the best approach for the sterilization of fermentation media. But in case of particularly the animal cell culture media, we cannot employ the heat sterilization because whenever we design the animal cell culture media, there are the proteins are the essential component, and mostly these protein components are the heat level. Along with it, certain vitamins are there, and other growth factors are there that are readily denatured at the elevated temperature that is used during the heat sterilization. So, animal cell culture media cannot be sterilized by steam as they contain heat level components such as proteins. Thus, the filtration is the method of choice. So, whenever we are going to perform or prepare the animal cell culture media and we have to carry out appropriate sterilization of that media, we cannot employ the heat as the sterilization method. Rather than that, we have to utilize the filtration as the method for the sterilization of fermentation media. Now, whenever we decide a particular filtration method for the sterilization of animal cell culture media, there are certain criteria for an ideal filter sterilization system. हर एक चीज के बारे में आइडियल पैरामीटर तो रहते हैं, लेकिन ऑल ऑफ द इवन दो ऑल ऑफ द पैरामीटर्स आर नॉट satisfied, we suggest or we select appropriate method which will satisfy maximum of this ideal characteristic. So here are the criteria for an ideal filter sterilization. First is that the filter medium must be free of fungal, bacterial and mycoplasma contamination. Now, the main aim of the sterilization of these fermentation media is that we have to separate out whatever the microbial contaminants are there. Now, the media may consist of or may be contaminated either by the fungal culture, actinomycete, mycoplasma or bacteria. So, before actually inoculating the cells, that is the animal cell in the media should be ideally free of this fungal, bacterial and mycoplasma contamination. So whatever the filter we are going to use for the filtration of this animal cell culture media, it should be capable of retaining all these type of microbial cells like fungi, bacteria and mycoplasma. So this is the first criteria for an ideal filter sterilization. Then the second criteria is that there should be minimal adsorption of protein to the filter surface. Okay. Now the main component of this animal cell culture media, the main component of this animal cell culture media is the different animal proteins. Now these proteins are the essential component. So while filtration or while sterilizing, the care should be taken that This protein should not be getting separated out from this fermentation media. So there are chances that the proteins, while filtering this animal cell culture media, the proteins may get adsorbed to that particular filter material. So the filter should be selected in such a way that there should be the minimal adsorption of this protein to the surface of this filter. Why it is essentially? Otherwise the media quality will be affected. Okay, so for example, if we have added 1 to 5% of protein content in that animal cell culture media, and if the 10 to 20% protein content is getting adsorbed on the filter, obviously the net protein content of that particular fermentation media after filtration will be reduced remarkably, and ultimately it will affect the growth of that animal cells. जी कुठली सेल लाईन आपण ऍड करतोय ना त्याच्या ग्रोथवर इफेक्ट होईल. The filtered medium should be free of virus. Okay. Whenever we decide or whenever we select particular filter, the main thing is the pore size of that filter. No doubt, if we want to retain the fungi or particularly the bacterial size, the comparatively larger pore size filters can be used. But if particular filter is able to retain this fungi, bacteria or mycoplasma, it doesn't mean that it will essentially filter out or retain the viruses. The viruses are still smaller in size. So the filters should be such that the pore size should not permit the viruses to even pass through it. So after the filtration, overall, the media should be free of any other microbial contaminant. That may include the viruses, that may include the fungi, bacteria, mycoplasma, actinomycetes. Okay. It should be free of endotoxins. Now, many a time it happens that you know that what are these endotoxins? The cell wall components of the gram-negative bacteria that acts as the endotoxins. Now, even though the microbial cells are not present, but if such cell wall components are passed through that particular filter, then that endotoxins will obviously affect the growth of that cell lines that we are going to induce or inoculate in that particular media. So it should not be having any content of endotoxin. So actually, even though we are not using, now in case of heat sterilization, all these are totally killed. Whatever the microbial growth is there, that is continuously or that is completely killed because of the heat. Here only it's retaining or separation, it is not the killing of that microbial cell. So the pore size of that particular filter is an essential factor that determines the particular sterility of that medium. Okay, so it should retain the all life forms of the microbes, that is the viruses, fungi, bacteria, mycoplasma, actinopycete. But on the other side, it should not adsorb the protein so that the overall protein content of the media will not be lowered down. Okay, so these are the criteria for an ideal filter sterilization system for animal cell culture media. One thing I should like to mention here that it is not the case that we only use this filtration for the animal cell culture media. So we have already seen that there are other media components that are heat labile. I have mentioned the example of Corynebacterium glutamicum used for glutamic acid production, where we add the biotin. So whenever we have to add biotin solution in the fermentation media, it is never added before sterilization by heating. So media is separately sterilized by heat sterilization, and biotin or other such a kind of amino acids or such a kind of other media components are separately sterilized by filtration. But overall, in case of animal cell culture media, we cannot employ the heat sterilization method at all. So here we are mentioning only the animal cell culture media. So next point is the sterilization of fermentation air. These points I have added in this content because these are related with the fermentation media. Whenever we think about the sterilization of fermentation media, that means it can be sterilized either by batch sterilization, either by continuous sterilization. I think I have started this point in the last lecture also, but later on I find when I went through the contents of the book, I thought that these points should be mentioned here only. Okay, so these are the additions. Okay.